Let's just start off with you guys just won
Yep.
the national team title for the first time. It's the third event for the NAIA Women's Nationals. Talk about what it means to lead your team to success like this and win a national title. We spoke yesterday a little bit, and you said it's not over yet.
Yeah.
It is now.
It is now. It is now. There's a lot that just feels like a relief. Like there's this pressure that's off, and new pressure will get put on because now you're number one and people are chasing you again. But I'm just so grateful because throughout the years we've been through a lot of adversity as a team. Injuries that you're not expecting. That very first year, the Invitational, our 40-hour layover in Denver with that cyclone, that bomb cyclone that came in. Like, really seen some things, and these girls work so hard, and they're such good people, and they're always they're focused in the classroom. It feels like they're always doing everything right. And sometimes we know everything right doesn't mean that you win, but it's nice to feel like it all worked out one time.
And then going back to you, what's your coaching philosophy, and how do you express that to your team?
Yeah, so my really, the short version is I try to give my athletes what I feel like I needed when I was 18. When I was a freshman at Missouri Valley and I was making all the wrong choices and I wasn't doing things right, I actually introduced them to Mike Mockles, who was my coach. And I was like, I tell them every year, I was not the freshman that anybody wanted. Like, I felt like I'd be great going in, and that was the problem. I thought I was going to be great, and everybody else was great too. And so I tried to give them those lessons and give them support and love I felt like I needed then. I mean, it gets more, nuanced from there, but that's the base of, hey, what did I need, and how can I give them that love and that support?
What have you learned most about yourself from, being a coach and being an athlete, and what have you grown?
Yeah, so I think, vulnerability, that's super important, and being intentional and just being very authentic. I think early on, I tried to emulate people, whether it was in my career, did what other athletes were doing, and it was like, oh, I'm not them, that doesn't work for me. And then even early as a coach, kind of did what other coaches I saw doing, and I was like, that's not working for me. And when I really started being true to myself, I feel like that's when things started to happen and started to move, and we started to get athletes that really believed in what we were doing, and we were all like-minded, and so it was great to watch everything blossom together.
You've been a pretty impactful person in the history of women's wrestling and, the growing history of women's wrestling. What do you think about, the growth that you've seen over the years, and, what do you look forward to seeing in the future?
Yeah, it's amazing. I talk about when I was in high school in 2001, which is, sorry, saw the baby running for the edge and I almost had a breakdown. There were only 3 schools that had women's wrestling back in 2001 and only 4,000 girls that wrestled in high school. And so for that to be where from there to now in 20 years is pretty amazing. And, I hope that people see, I think maybe one day it'll change, but right now division doesn't matter. And you just need to go where you're going to get better and be a better wrestler. And for everybody, that's going to look different. Every coach is going to have a different philosophy. I'm the crazy auntie. I want a relationship with my athletes. Some coaches are like that 9-to-5 business relationship. It's going to be different for every coach, and each athlete needs something different. And I hope athletes don't look at the title of the school or the division or the conference, and instead they look at what does this program do to help me grow as a person, grow as a human, grow as a wrestler.
What's been one of your most memorable moments as a coach?
Oh, golly. I think winning national duels the first time, that's from a winning perspective, that was huge. We actually had just our whole program was shut down because of COVID, and we had only been back on the mat for one full day coming out of COVID protocol when we went into national duels. We didn't have a 101 pounder at the time because they all had COVID, and so we just went in person down, and they figured it out and loved each other through it. I think one of the I have a lot of alumni who have left on great terms, and things have been amazing. But sometimes things don't work out. But those athletes that come back and say, "Hey, I understand. Thank you. Hey, I wish you well. Hey, I love you. I'm excited for you." Those are moments that mean a lot when you see that they still believe, even though it wasn't a great fit at the time.
And last question, what legacy do you hope to leave in women's wrestling?
Oof. Wrestling's work, right? I have a good friend, Roddy Ferguson. He says you can't wear the championship ring without the suffering. And there's some suffering, there's some pain that has to come. But you you don't have to suffer just for the sake of suffering, and it doesn't have to be hard for the sake of hard. It should have a purpose, and we don't have to do what we've always done. We can grow and be better. And I hope that every year I'm growing and I'm better for my athletes, and I hope my athletes carry that on and they leave it better than they got it from me, and then we just keep going from there.
Well, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.